I was reading one report of a journalist from Peshawar, sir. This gentleman is a quite a very knowledgeable person as far as terrorist groups are concerned. I'll share you some of his details. He made a startling claim, and that thing caught my eye. He said, 5,000 ऊपर नीचे ड्यूरांड लाइन में एक दिन में क्रॉस करना इज वेरी इजी. 5,000 बंदे विद असला, गाड़ी, सब कुछ, no problem. 5,000 people can cross over the Durand line in a day. In one day. That to me was, यार यहाँ पर 5 बंदे अंदर घुस जाएं, we'll bloody have the throat of the army chief on a block, you know.
That terrain is impossible, impossible. It's impossible for others. It is not impossible for the Pashtuns, especially the tribals who have been living there for centuries.
These guys work in the same terrain across us. It's not that they Pakistanis work in the same terrain across us in POJK, that entire bloody belt.
That terrain is, Adi, that terrain is very, very, it's far more difficult than the LOC over here. It's higher, the rocks, it's barren, it's craggy, it's very, very difficult. But those guys have been living there for centuries. It's like the back of their hand. So I'm not surprised this chap is saying that 5,000 people can cross over. Maybe 5,000 is a bit of an exaggeration, but it's a 2,600 kilometer Durand line.
I have no clue, sir. This is something that shocked me, and I said, okay, I need to dig more. So I've been reading TTP and all that stuff since yesterday. Not easy to get their material, and half of it is propaganda. So you have to really sift stuff out. You can make out this propaganda, by the way. They put it across in a very interesting way. So when you look at these groups, they've amalgamated, and towards the end, I'd like to ask you the last question: is that they've amalgamated 55 groups joined up to make one TTP. Then you've got the Gul Bahadur. Then you've got another 2-3, tribal groups which are there in DGK and that entire region. You've got the minute you come down to Quetta, you've got the Baloch and the Pashtuns both working together, sort of things. वहां पर भी वो है. Spin Baldak से पूरी जो infiltration इनकी वहीं से होती है. These guys don't have a hope in hell. What are they going to tell their so-called backers 3 years down the line? Now, इसको आप आपने वो सताज तो पहना दिया उसके सिर के ऊपर. Fantastic, kudos, well done. But a year down the line, Trump is going to ask him, right? Why? So what? Then they run back to China, say sorry, and try and counterbalance America.
No, you see, they're serious problem. The TTP's strength, as per the UN Sanctions Monitoring Committee, is between 6,000 to 6,500. Now, can you imagine in an insurgency where the group is 6,000 to 6,500? At the best of time in Kashmir, you've had about 250 to 300, the foreign militants. There's 6,000 to 6,500. And then you have the Taliban army itself. Then you have the Baloch fighters, all in their own terrain. The last 1 year, Pakistan army has lost over 1,100 soldiers, over 1,100 soldiers. That is the level of casualties that they take. These includes the officers also. Couple of colonels, couple of majors, couple of captains.
Today morning, one captain.
Yeah.
Balochistan.
So that's the reason why it is hurt. It started to hurt them so much. You see, till now it is not so much. That's why they got serious in their talks, which were held in Istanbul, where they really insisted on almost cast iron guarantees from the Taliban that they will not allow TTP from their soil. And the Taliban have a very simple answer. That you tell us, are they Pakistani nationals or are they Afghan nationals? Obviously, they are Pakistani nationals. So if they are Pakistani nationals, why are you telling us? You control them. But this is how desperate Pakistan has become. So they've got the Saudis, they've got the Qataris, and they've got the Turks involved. कि भाई हमें इस TTP से छुटकारा पहुंचाओ. Get us out from the jungle of the TTP. Because the TTP is now saying very clearly It is no longer about Sharia.
Yep.
It's about Pashtun nationalism. That we want control of these areas. We want to have our own Pashtun national government.
Absolutely. And
So
they're
you see, it is now the Taliban have got strategic depth inside Pakistan. Instead of Pakistan having strategic depth the other way around. Because once they take control of FATA, the next step is going to be the settled districts of KPK. You know, the D.I. Khan and
yeah, the
Pannu and Mardan and Peshawar and, these areas.
yeah.
So they're going to gradually, and the Pakistan army seems incapable, unwilling to be able to do anything about it. You can give the exercise whatever name you want. You can call them Fitna-e-Kwarij or Fitna-al-Hindustan or whatever. But the fact of the matter is, you're not able to do anything about it. And you will increasingly find you're not able to do anything about it because more and more people are going to join this. More and more people are going to join this.
There's no employment, there's no education, there's no opportunity, there's nothing there. What else? Pick up the gun. Those guys pay, and they pay decently well, actually.
They pay far better than what the Pakistan army pays.
Army pays,
And
yes.
both Afghans and Pakis are going to join. You see, I read a very interesting article where the Taliban, the young Taliban recruits were saying that we were trained for jihad and for shahadat. अब यहाँ तो पीस हो गई है, यहाँ जिहाद भी खत्म हो गया है, and we have been given now police duties and checkpost duties. What the hell are we doing? हमें तो ऊपर जाना है. So चलो जिहाद पाकिस्तान में हो रहा है, we'll go and join jihad over.
This is like back in the day, if you remember, when there were these. This guy didn't. Ayman al-Zawahiri didn't come into the picture by that time. There was Osama bin Laden, and there was another chap who was killed by Ayman al-Zawahiri back in the day itself. They used to have these debates of the near enemy and the far enemy, whether we should hit the Arab states or we should hit America itself. And actually, the near enemy won the discussion, but this other chap who was Osama bin Laden's counterpart, that chap got killed by Ayman al-Zawahiri. So they
Abu
basically
Azam? Was he Abu Azam?
Yeah, Abu Azam. I forgot his name. So that's when they decided to hit America. So it's exactly like that right now. Near enemy and far enemy. Amazing, sir. Thank you so much. I mean, I really wanted to have this discussion because like you, I think, and I must say, the respect you command amongst Pashtuns, sir, with the understanding of that, with my just probably very tiny research, I can see where that comes from because there's just so much to know about those people.
Yeah.
It's
and people have always, the British literature has been so anti-Pashtun. Described them as brutes, as savages. Because they were getting the thick end of the stick from the Pashtuns. They weren't able. They also couldn't tackle the Pashtuns.
Sir, there's a book written by I forget who. It's called Mujahir to Mujahid.
Yeah.
Right. I think that is one of the most beautiful description, or I think it's a history book. I think so. That's my.
It's written by a professor from Peshawar University.
Yeah.
Muhajir to Mujahid.
Mujahid, beautiful book. I am trying to get my hands on it. I will be able to do it. I read online, but I really want to have a copy with me. This thing described stuff about this whole region that I don't think, apart from people like you who would know, sir, I don't think so. This was beautiful, and I think there's a lot that we can learn about this, especially if we want to kind of deal with Afghanistan. I think it's important for us to learn about that part.
Very, very important. Very important. Because we've lost that understanding because of Pakistan coming in between the kind of understanding we had pre-47. Now that we've got this Pakistan in between Afghanistan and us, we've lost that understanding and in touch with the Afghans.
That's true, sir. On that note, sir, thank you so much. Always a pleasure talking to you, and I will be seeing you in this week in person. Yes. Obviously, I'll apologize to you for arguing with you, but
no, not at all. That's how knowledge increases. Yeah, that's how knowledge increases.
It's really interesting to learn because I think the next big something is going to happen in this region. something is going to happen here. It's just giving all telltale signs of.
No, in fact, tomorrow is going to be a very important day because the peace process in Istanbul is going to restart.
Yeah.
And let's see if they come up with a further extension of the ceasefire. What agreement do they come up with? Because both have gone back and must have talked to their principals and come back to Istanbul to talk.
Yeah.
So I think the next 2-3 days should be very interesting.
So thank you so much, sir. And to all the audience, my request is please like, subscribe, and drop your comments, drop your questions, drop your suggestions. Let us also know what you guys think about what we were discussing. And please don't forget to support the channel. Thank you, sir. Once again, namaskar.
Thank you, Adi. Wish you all the best.
Sir.